everyone, welcome back to Self Obscura. Today we're making a weekender bag. This is a great project for all sewing levels and perfect prep for your next getaway. You will need interfacing, lining material, batting if you're quilting, an outside print or material, zipper, and straps. The printed instructions include interlining. This is a great option if you want your bag to have a bit more structure. My design includes batting for the quilted look, so I didn't feel an interlining was necessary. This video is my own interpretation of the pattern instructions, so I hope you find this helpful. Pre-wash your fabric and batting to prevent shrinkage, and begin your project free of debris or any possible chemicals. I like to lay out my pattern pieces on a mat on the floor. It's just easier for myself to oversee and cut everything out. I'm using a linen rayon blend for the outside of my bag because I don't like working with synthetics much. And I just loved the print when I first laid eyes on it. It immediately made me want to book a holiday in Italy. You'll be saying bellissimo once this bag is complete. We'll begin with what may very well be the most tedious but satisfying step: quilting. I recommend throwing some scraps together to not only test machine settings but gauge how thick the batting should be. When I started, I used 1 layer of batting, then 2, and found my happy place with 3 layers. Pin or clip the batting and outside material together. Find the center of the bag, and while using a ruler, create a line with pins to mark the center line. This will be your first seam for the quilting. You may need to use a washable pencil to mark your lines for this, especially if your machine doesn't include a seam guide. Now we have our first guide for the rest of the quilting. Using your seam guide or marked line, start sewing the next line a 1/2 inch from the first center seam. Each new seam you sew will measure a 1/2 inch from the last. I'll speed up some of the processes in this video to help us move along. Bring your 1/2 inch lines as close as you can to the bottom of the side flaps, and then stop creating seams. The direction of the side flap quilting will need to run vertical with the flap. The bottom bobbin may run out of thread and cause a disruption in a clean seam. Remove the incomplete or broken thread and create a clean seam before moving on to the next step. Find the center of the flap and create a vertical line using pins or mark with your washable pencil. Finish the flaps with 1/2 inch seams. Once we're finished with quilting, we'll move on to the straps. Pin the sides together inside out. It doesn't have to be perfect, we just want to use this moment to figure out how we want the straps to sit on the bag and on our shoulder. Turn the bag right side out and pin the end of the strap to the center of the bottom of the bag. Start pinning where you think the straps look best. Check how far the strap sits from the seam and make note of that distance. Wear the bag to check the length. Is it sitting against your body comfortably? Measure the length of the straps you've pinned. Cut to the same length. Don't forget to add your seam allowance. In this case, I'm adding a 1/2 inch. Fold the bag in half and crease the center fold. Add pins to mark a line along the crease. This line of pins will be your guide for sewing the straps. Fold the strap in under a 1/2 inch and pin to the bag beginning at fold we just marked. Only pin the strap up to the bottom of the small flaps at the top of the bag. Do not pin the straps up to the top edge of the bag. Repeat on the other side. Try to mirror the same placement and pinning. Choose a thread color that matches your strap and sew the straps into place. Once we're finished with the straps, we can add the zipper. Pin the zipper to the raw edge of the bag, right sides facing. If zipper is too long, trim and add a zipper stop by hand sewing a stitch near the bottom. Add a basting stitch to the zipper where it's pinned in place. This will allow you to unzip the zipper and pin the other side to the bag. Pin and baste both sides of the zipper. Open and close the zipper to check it is functioning properly. If the zipper gets stuck or doesn't work properly, you may need to finesse it by repinning and basting to bag again. Add a zipper foot to your machine and sew each side. Keep the zipper unzipped for this process. Remove basting stitch and any remaining pins. Option to add a top stitch now, but you will do this later. With zipper close, pin the sides together with bag sitting inside out. Trim any excess batting along the way. Add a basting stitch. Sew up the sides, leaving that extra flap out. Sew across the flap to close it. Check on your seams by turning the bag right side out. Now you'll be able to see where you need to finesse details. If you need to even the sides out, bring in a seam. This is definitely a project of patience, but honestly, that's just sewing in a nutshell. You may need to turn it right side out a few times for adjustments before feeling good about its shape. When you feel good about how it's looking, with the bag inside out, you can sew the flap down against the sides. Turn bag right side out. Add interfacing to the lining of the bag. Trace the lining onto interfacing. Using a hot iron, press interfacing to lining. I'm adding another layer to my pocket. I realized I could accent the inside of my bag with a bit of the outside print. Doubling up on fabric will make the pocket a little more structured. Sew the two pieces of fabric together. Fold in half with right sides facing. Sew along the edges without the fold. Leave a gap to allow turning pocket right side out. Trim the corners off before turning right side out. Press pocket flat and pin to inside of lining. Sew to lining and press with iron. Pin and sew the lining the same way we constructed the outside of the bag. Fold the edge of the lining back about a 1/2 inch and press. Insert the lining into the bag. Pin edge of folded lining to the zipper inside bag. Add a zipper foot to your machine and sew lining to inside of zipper. The last piece is optional but adds structure to the bottom of the bag. Fold in half the long way and press with iron. Cut out heavyweight interfacing and insert between fold. Finish edges however you like. I used my serger to finish the edges around each side. This can also be accomplished with a zigzag stitch. insert the heavyweight interfacing panel into the bottom of the bag. And here is the finished weekender bag. I love how it turned out. It fits all of my stuff. I could take it down to the pool or the beach. Let me know if you end up trying this yourself and what you end up using your bag for. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more sewing tutorials. See you next time.